Hi, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. I want to start off by asking both of you, what was your first experience like with Sandman after reading it, whether that be the comics or the script? I want to know what you felt after finishing it.
For me, I read The Sandman in like bits. I started reading it when I got the audition. I started from the first issue, so Rose hadn't, been introduced just yet. And then I stopped after I read maybe one issue with Rose, and I started again after I learned that I booked the role because I didn't want to get too in my head about it. And I I haven't actually finished it yet, so I've still got to finish it, but
It's quite long, to be fair.
it's long, yeah. Beyond my character, I was able to just enjoy the Sandman as a comic, and
Yeah.
it's very, I want to say, larger than life. I love the mythology. It's very rich, and it's very nice to see all of these characters and see Shakespeare and see, you know, I don't know if this would be spoilers, but so I won't say too much about what happens later on, but it was really just a lovely reading experience because I was reading it beyond Rose, but I was reading it just as a reader at that point.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Understand?
And to add to that, we had our little, like, our scenes felt like a little chapter within that whole experience. So when you watch it, is when you fully get the scope of the world. Like, as an actor, you just focus on what you're doing and you're in the studio and it's isolating and you're just doing your scenes and you're working on your things. And then when you see it as a whole, it's amazing and you get transported instantly to another universe. And that's so exciting. It's the
Excellent.
magic of cinema.
Exactly. Razan, I wanted to ask you particularly about your character and the arc of your character. And for me, what struck me is that I thought it was probably the character that had the most real life implications to do with reality and the dreaming. And I felt that it can probably strike a chord with a lot of people as well. There's a lot of connections there to and that mirror real life issues, and it can be quite heavy at times as well. I thought, what for you was that like as an actor going through that?
Uh, I'll tell you what it was like. There are certain things from the comics that we didn't necessarily explore this time, but when it comes to grief, there's an awful parallel situation that I was actually filming while I was losing my mom and then lost my mom as we were filming. So it definitely was very close to home and it felt like it was very vulnerable. So I hope that that vulnerability was coupled with the strength it takes to carry on and move on as a character, but also as an actor, but also as a daughter who just lost her mom, comes across, and that my performance is authentic and is true to what my character was feeling at that time. And I did allow to show, and I just allowed that vulnerability to come out.
Absolutely, I think it did for sure come true. um Vanessa, I wanted to ask you, seeing as you're a relative newcomer to the industry, what was it like for you to enter such a big production with a story that is 30 or so odd years old? Did you feel any pressures coming into that?
Um, no, I didn't feel I didn't feel any pressure about the project itself, like because it's a very beloved story. And there's lots of fans. I didn't feel any pressure in that sense. I didn't
Mhm.
want to lean too much into that because I didn't think it would be very healthy for my mental health if I was to feel that too much. Um, my nervousness, I did have a bit of nervousness. That came more for me just as an actor in general, not necessarily the project, but this was my longest project, to date. And it was just the nervousness of, being like, okay, I've booked the job. Now I've got to actually like do it. And I've got to, I'm in this, huge production with all of these human beings. Um, and but I did definitely ease into it, and it wasn't too, I definitely got very comfortable very soon, so that was nice.
That's great. For both of you guys as well, is there a certain moment within the series that you're particularly proud of? That's not too spoilery.
For me, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it. So I would have to think about when we were filming. What would I say I'm most proud of? Because I've got episodes that I'm most excited of for, which would be the 8 and 9. And in terms of what I'm most proud of, I think probably the scene that I did when I was in the dreaming with Lighter and with Morpheus, and that scene, and yeah, that scene, I think that would probably be maybe my proudest one, if I can remember correctly.
And Razane?
That scene is very important. It has a lot of layers. That was actually the day I was losing my mom, so it was amazing to be able to have the support of Vanezu, and we were like living in a little cocoon at that time, so it was a very safe place for us to be. So I think we focused on a lot of the positives and the beautiful and healthy culture that we had on set. And that helped us, and I'm excited for people to see that, the diversity, the combination, the collaborations between different people from a little bit everywhere, and that's really nice and exciting.
That's great. Well, that's my wrap, guys. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Dreams don't die.